Today we're making the best French silk pie. It is light as air and it is decadent without being too rich because we use unsweetened chocolate, like an epic amount. The eggs are cooked, so it is not only safe to eat for everyone, but it is also makes it extra light and extra fluffy. It really makes that chocolate texture just like a chocolate cloud. Let's get into it. So the first step in my recipe, I do pre-cook my eggs and my sugar so that you don't have to worry about eating raw eggs. So we are going to go ahead and whisk together our eggs and our sugar. I like to give my eggs a whisk before I add my sugar. Okay, go ahead and add all of your granulated sugar. It's a decent amount of sugar because I use 100% unsweetened chocolate for this recipe, so I like to, you're kind of adding your sugar back in, if you will. Okay, so I've got myself some simmering water here, and turn that back on. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pop on my egg mixture, and I'm just gonna whisk constantly, forever, until they get nice and light and fluffy, and then they are going to reach 160. So I've got myself an instant read thermometer here. You can use kind of like a standard thermometer if you'd like, but then you do have to kind of make sure that it goes in far enough past that little divot to make sure that's accurately reading your temperature, whereas this one you just kind of like dip the tip in. So we're just gonna whisk. Can't wait. The only thing that is more important than anything else is that you do not stop whisking or you're going to cook little bits of your egg, and that's going to be really sad. If it's not catastrophic, you could strain it. This will go faster in a middle bowl, but you then won't get as much volume, so it's really a trade-off on kind of the lightness of your pie and the patience and also, general whisking strength you have. Okay, good news, we're done with this step, and we're gonna go ahead and take this off. Yes, grab her, place her over here, turn off our stove, wipe the sweat from your brow, literally, and then we are gonna add our chocolate. So this is unsweetened chocolate, and we are gonna go ahead and just kind of pour this in there. And then obviously the heat of our egg and sugar mixture is going to melt it. Now you can see the beautiful volume that we got from all of our hard work over there in the stove. And adding the chocolate is going to deflate that, as is later when we add the butter and fold in whipped cream. But some of those air pockets will be trapped, and it'll just be a lighter, like more, melt in your mouth texture than if, you hadn't whisked them like that. Okay, so we've got ourselves a beautiful chocolate egg situation. I'm gonna go ahead and add my salt to this, as well as my vanilla extract. Okay. Now, sadly, our exercise in patience is not yet over. I will tell you this pie is worth it. I will not tell you it is easy, but we now have to wait for this chocolate mixture to cool to 90 degrees. I know. That's it feels like forever, but I promise it's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a cooler spot, which is not right here, to place this in. And we're gonna let this cool to about 90 degrees, which if you don't have a thermometer, that's okay. You can just stick your finger in there and it should feel cooler than body temperature. So it shouldn't feel cold or anything like that, because that's gonna make the following steps very difficult. So we are going to, without further ado, take this. I will stir it every now and again just to make sure she's doing good stuff. Cover it with plastic wrap and then let her cool. So meanwhile, we are going to whip our whipped cream and just get all of the other ingredients ready to prepare the rest of the filling. So this is just the whipped cream that is going to go into the chocolate mixture and not the one that's going to go on top. You could, of course, whip them separately, but then you're going to have to weigh out the amount that goes on top and the amount that goes inside. So we are just going to take our whipped cream that is going to go inside, and we're going to pop this in the bowl of the stand mixer. You can, of course, do this by hand, and we're going to go to kind of like medium stiff peaks. So not like on the verge of being over whipped, but definitely farther than soft peaks. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this going. All right, so let's see what we've got in here. Oh, look at that, a nice stiff peak. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, I'm going to transfer it to a bowl, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge and wait for my filling to cool. Also in the meantime, I have measured my butter, and that is sitting at room temperature so that it's ready to kind of incorporate into that chocolate mixture. Okay, so our filling has cooled to 90 degrees, and we're very proud of her. And we're going to go ahead and take our tempered butter. So this is very soft, you can see, mostly because my room is very hot. And then we're going to pop this in our stand mixer, and we're going to go ahead and beat this. Go ahead and beat it. You want it to be like a little lighter. I mean, it's not going to do anything crazy because it's just butter in there. But you want it to be nice and smooth and silky. Go ahead and get your plastic wrap off. Try to get all of that chocolate that is on it off and back into the bowl. All right, so our butter is nice and silky smooth and just really gorgeous in there, and so we're just going to get all of this chocolate into our bowl. Okay, great. Go ahead and beat that in. Meanwhile, I'm going to grab my, I'm going to go ahead and grab my whipped cream that we already did. I go ahead and beat that until it looks a little lighter. You know, it's not an excessive amount of beating that's happening, but it is a nice, you know, it's a little lighter. And then we're just going to sacrifice. So we're going to take some of our whipped cream, and we are going to take it and put it into our chocolate, and we're going to fold aggressively. We're not going to stress about how it's getting in there or what it's doing. We're just going to kind of fold it. You know, we're not stressing about keeping our leavening or anything like that. We're just trying to get it to be a closer consistency to the whipped cream so that it folds into the rest of the whipped cream really nicely. Now we can do this either way. We can put this into here, or we can fold in this bowl. This bowl is a little small, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold in my mixing bowl. And just give that a nice fold. Now keep in mind that the heavy whipped cream is in fact very cold, and it will start to cool down your chocolate and eventually just set it. So you do want to fold fast enough to get that chocolate into the whipped cream without it setting on you semi-mixed. I've got myself a par-baked pie crust that I have docked. If you want to see my quick video on when to and when not to dock a pie crust that you're par-baking, then you can go ahead and watch that. And I'm just going to go ahead and get it into this pie dish without further ado. This is a deep 9-inch pie dish. This recipe will also fit a 10-inch pie. It is a generous sized French silk pie, because why not? We didn't do all of that work to get like a sad, small, tragic pie. No, we are here for the volume. Oh man, just take a little taste. Oh dear, that's excessively awesome. So keeping in mind that we are going to have, you know, it's not going to be a flat top, go ahead and just kind of work your way around and keep it mounted up in the center. Now, we are going to go ahead and pop this in the refrigerator and let it set for about 3 hours before we add whipped cream. The whipped cream is optional. It is delightful like this, but I think the whipped cream adds a nice unsweetened or very lightly sweetened balance to it, and it's just a beautiful contrast. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this in the refrigerator because it's very warm in here, and I can see her starting to be like, meow. So into the fridge. All right, it's been about 2 hours, and we are going to go ahead and make the whipped cream topping because I want that to sit just a little bit while we kind of make our decor. So go ahead and just put, this is just plain heavy whipped cream. And then I've got a little bit of confectioner sugar, not a lot, just, you know, just a little bit. And then a little vanilla extract. And then I'm gonna take this, pop it in a machine. You could of course do this by hand. Okay, and then we're just gonna start it out kind of slow. And then we'll gradually increase it. Right, there she is. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she pretty? And now we're just gonna mound this on top. Not that. Okay. And then I'm just gonna kind of spread it out. Nothing too fancy going on. This is like a little rustic, elegant but rustic look here. You could of course pipe this on if you'd like. And just know that as you continue to fuss with it, any sort of agitation is actually going to continue to kind of whip it. And so you will eventually get an over whipped cream if you like fuss with it too much. The same goes for piping out of a piping bag. So we're gonna finish our chocolate decor. We're gonna pop this back in the fridge. Let her sit, and we're gonna do our decorations. All right, so it's too hot in here for our decor to set, so sadly, we're gonna go with plan B, which is shaved chocolate, which is just as exciting because it's still chocolate. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some baker's chocolate here. So I'm literally just gonna shave it with my peeler, and then you get these like pretty little, you know, shavings all over the top. If you do it along like a really long chocolate bar, you can get sometimes like really nice curls, but literally it's the easiest way to do it. Okay, all right, just a little chocolate decor, and that's it. And now, I mean, we already let her chill. She's been like hanging out in the fridge, so it's really just, you know, it's time to get all of the accoutrements and it's time to try. I'm super stoked. I love this pie so much. All I've got here in my little setup is I've got myself a hot thing of water and a knife to make that clean, beautiful cut that, you know, we all want. All right, without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and get in there. Oh my goodness gracious, you can hear the crust down there. It's just like so flaky. This plate looks a little small for this pie, but shh. Okay. Get an appropriate size piece. First piece is always the most stressful. Oh, I think we had a sitch. I don't think I really, hold up. Nobody move, nobody breathe. We lost the tip, and then we took the side piece of, oh my gosh, this is just, what a nightmare in here. Oh my goodness, it's not that bad. As I said, the first piece is the hardest, so it's like, that's yours. And the bigger it is, the easier it is to cut, so fun fact. Just giving you the tools you need. You can see the flaky crust on the bottom. It's thin and buttery. My goodness, we've got ourselves quite the bite here. Wow. It's silky and smooth and light. And you know, you'd think it would be heavy and super rich, but it's not because of that beautifully light and whipped cream on the top and that light fluffy filling that we have. And it's honestly, it's just light as air. It's phenomenal. One more. I've been waiting all day for this pie. Like a cloud. A chocolate cloud. Which is possibly the best kind of cloud, I would say.